if you want to do that combo, make sure you stick around and watch the entire video and pay close attention. Yes, this video is the Darius combo video, which is, updated to match with his current state after patch 11.13, where Riot removed Strybreaker. I feel like this is my third combo video. I do have one that I made earlier this year, but, I wanted to make a better version of that video because there were some parts where, there were a lot of, flaws with my previous video, and I wanted to, eliminate a lot of them with this one. So, yeah, I'm going to cover 1v1, combos. I'm going to cover all the techniques you need. I'm going to cover teamfight combos, and basically everything you need to know to, play this guy like me. Or, I mean, like some good player if you don't think I'm good. But, yeah. Let's shoot for 700 likes. Can we do 700 likes? And if we do get 700 likes, then I'll get to work on my next video ASAP. Anyway, so let's just get started. Before we get into the techniques or the combos, I'm gonna have to give you a few general tips. And, well, one general tip, which consists of a lot of general tips, but it's about auto attacks, okay? So, to be able to do combos and stuff properly on Darius, you need to have your auto attacks mastered, okay? Now, a lot of players, right, especially in lower elos, they basically just, okay, League's bugged, okay. They basically just right-click the enemy and have their character do all the auto attacking for them, which is not bad, of course. But it could be way more efficient because if you look at the animation of the auto attack, it can be split into 3 portions, okay? The part where he winds up the axe, right? Then the part where the axe comes into contact with the enemy, so it's like the frame that, that actually hits the target. And the last part where he basically just, returns his axe to the default position, right? So wind up, attack, then reset, right? Like that. Now, if you guys, this is pretty basic, so everybody should know this, but all of the parts of the animation where he's returning the axe to the default position are unnecessary, meaning that they can be cancelled, okay? So, during that part of the animation, you can move, you can just, you can cast abilities, you can do all sorts of stuff in those unnecessary frames, and it is actually recommended that you move around or at least use your abilities during those, unnecessary parts of your auto attack. And to do a lot of the combos I'm going to discuss later in the video, you have to get a hang of how to auto attack properly, okay? And another big tip is to buy a mythic item that gives attack speed. Now, if you guys saw my previous video, I basically recommended Triforce and Strybreaker as the 2 main mythics for Darius. Some of you have been asking about why Goredrinker isn't used more, and the answer to that question is it has no attack speed, okay? The stats on it are wonderful, but there's no attack speed, which, some of you might think that it's not necessary, but it really is necessary, and no, taking attack speed in the runes is not enough. The basic bad part with Darius is that he has such a low base attack speed by default, and his attack speed growth is so bad that you need both a mythic that gives some attack speed, and you need some attack speed from your runes, and only then do you have enough, right? So the sweet spot is anywhere between 0.9 and 1.1. Anything more and you're basically just wasting your gold, but you can usually achieve that with just taking the attack speed here and taking Strybreaker will basically give you enough, but ideally you want Strybreaker, the 20%, 10% from here, and Alacrity to have the perfectly good attack speed that you can do a lot of combos with, okay? And the thing about having it in your mythic is that if you actually buy attack speed with other items, then, it's basically a waste of money, because items with attack speed generally don't have the stats that Darius wants for them for most cases, so we want everything we need to be given to us with one mythic item so that we can build our nice juicy items. So yeah, okay? So that's the other tip, make sure you have enough attack speed. And yeah, let's just get right into it. As I mentioned, or as I alluded to before, I'm going to split this video into 2 parts, techniques and then combos. Techniques are things that There are certain mechanics, certain tricks, and things you can do on Darius specifically, whereas combos are full strings of abilities, and in combos there will be uses of like the techniques that I will discuss. Okay, so we're gonna learn all the we're gonna learn all the techniques first, and then we're gonna take those techniques and craft combos out of them. So yeah. By the way, if you're watching this, I would like if you're watching this, it's great, but I would really like it if you went into practice tool and watch me do the combos and techniques and practice them yourself. Because if we go through this together, you're gonna learn this as well as possible. Okay, so I'm gonna give you 10 seconds to open up League. I don't know why I'm doing that. Okay, now that's settled. Let's just get right into the video. Okay. Our first technique, I'm gonna start from the very basics, and then we're gonna include some more complicated techniques as we go. The first technique is Auto W. So basically, I'm gonna sell Strikebreaker to display this because having high attack speed doesn't really show this quite easily. Okay, so if you actually observe like how a champion auto attacks, you can tell how the champion auto attacks once, and then it's like a cooldown for the next auto attack. Okay, it's just like this is written in frequency rather than like the cooldown, but basically all attacks have cooldowns. And W is what we call an auto attack reset, which basically means that if you use this ability, Darius can doesn't have to wait for the cooldown of his next auto attack. He can just do it immediately. So let me just compare. These are two autos. 1, 2, and then this is auto, and then using W after. Okay, so auto W lets you basically get 2 autos in the time where it would take to get 1 auto in. Okay, this is a very basic but very important technique that I see a lot of the people, even the people I coach, mess up, because you have to make sure that you can get your auto W's and stuff, and you gotta make sure you can do this when you can, because it's literally getting 2 stacks in like the time it takes to get 1. Okay, so make sure you use this in fights properly. Okay, so yeah, the only exception that I would say not to use this is when you're fighting against someone who you're chasing. In that case, it's better to just it's better to just W them so you can catch up to them. But yeah, okay, make sure to do these in fights as well. The next technique is the WQ cancel, another basic technique that most players should know. When you basically start the W auto attack, you can press Q at any point during the animation, and the W attack will still go through. Okay, so as you see, he did the W attack while he was winding up the Q. Now why this happens is because when Darius Qs, he gives himself a type of CC called disarm. And a disarm champion, as you can see, I'm pressing Q, and then I can't auto attack while Darius is using Q. That's the effect of disarm, where a disarmed champion cannot auto attack, but they can cast abilities. Now, the thing with this is that with Darius's abilities, all of them actually go through crowd control. Okay, if you stun Darius, all of his abilities will still go through. Okay, which is why you can do things like W Renekton while he stuns you, and then kind of catch up with him even if he ease away. Right, so Darius' abilities go through CC, so his W goes through CC that he gives himself. So yeah, that was just a little combo I did there, but WQ. To do it, you basically just press your Q, you select the target, and then you press Q right after you start the auto attack. I kind of missed my Q there, but you get the point, okay? So yeah, that's the WQ cancel. Our next ability, our next trick, I guess, technique is the EQ buffer, okay? I have my keyboard display on right now so that you guys can see how I do it. But basically speaking, okay, a lot of people do it like this, right? They press E and they just mash Q until they get it out, okay? Now this works sometimes, but if you mess this up, you can get into a situation where the enemy has some microseconds of time to flash away or whatever. And to avoid that, we have to do the buffer. Now, if you watch on the other side of the screen here, you have to do EQ one after another. So I'm going to let go of my mouse, and then I'm going to show you how to do it, and then I'll aim it on the target, okay? So look, my hand's in the air. I'm not touching the mouse, EQ. And if you saw that, if you do EQ one after another, Darius will start the Q as soon as E finishes. So you're basically giving an opponent who has flashes and dashes like a guaranteed Q hit. So even if like it's an Ezreal or something, he has E or whatever, he will still get hit by Q if you do this properly. Okay. Now you don't have to just stand still while doing this, but you can't input commands like between the E and the Q. You have to wait for the Q to come out and then you can start moving. So how you would use this in a fight would be like this. Okay? So once the Q comes out, then we start moving. So yeah, that is the EQ buffer. Now I'm going to go into using Flash properly, okay? Because Flash is basically like Darius with Flash is a team fighting monster and like a backline threat, whereas Darius without Flash is basically just another meathead who can't really do that much. So yeah, Flash and using it properly is very, very important with this character. Now, one of the most basic things you gotta know how it works is Flash Q, okay? So knowing the range of Flash and knowing the size of Q means that you can actually just, Flash Q and basically hit people with this, like, consistently, okay? Now, there's not really a good way to practice this. You basically have to just get used to it in-game, because this target dummy is just stationary, right? This guy's not going to move. But against real people, you gotta just watch how people move, and then plan your Flash Qs around that, right? So, in low elo, players are way more predictable. Like, let's say you got someone down to like 100 HP, and you're going towards them, and they're just walking away, and you're 5 seconds, and then you just back off. You wait for them to walk towards you, and then you can go back towards them and Flash Q at them to get like a cheese kill. In high elo, you can't really do something like that because they will know about Flash Q, so you have to do some kind of trick. So, let's say this guy's fighting me. I'm gonna walk into melee range, and I'm just gonna start my Q. So I'm gonna make it seem like I am missing my own Q, and then I'm gonna flash out and land it. So I'm basically just tricking the guy I'm fighting against into thinking that the Q's not gonna hit, and then flashing into hit land it. Whereas, if I did it like this, they would just flash in and dodge it. And then I'd have to predict like how I'm gonna flash the aim. Whereas if I just do like this, they're probably not gonna flash. So I'm just gonna get a clean Q land, and I can just finish them off further on. Anyway, so that's a little trick. And you gotta also learn how to do this with Flash E, because that is one of Darius's solid engages, one of the things you can do in fights. Jesus. That's just me trying to do the thing in you gotta just Flash E, okay? You can't just there's no tricks with this, it's just all about Flash E, okay? Okay. So, that's basically just flash usage with most of your abilities. You can also do this with just W or whatever, but it's just that the special things are with Q and with E. Now you can also do this with your R, right? But there's a secret not a secret, but there's a way to do Flash R that makes it super fast and an instant every single time. So, using your R with Flash, or even your R attacks or W with Flash, requires the usage of this thing called buffering, okay? Now, what is buffering? If I put a point-and-click ability, and I target it onto an enemy, then Darius will walk towards that enemy, and start, the attack as soon as he gets in range. So let's just watch the range of R. So I'm going to put it on him, and as soon as he gets in range, Darius starts the ultimate automatically. Now, we can actually use this to our advantage by using our Flash. So let's say I put R on him, Flash in range, and then Darius starts ulting instantly. Now, you might be wondering, why do we need to know this? Now, the thing about Flash R is if you do Flash and then ult, then what's going to happen is sometimes you're going to get it right, but if the enemy has Flash or something, or a way to get away from you instantly, you're giving them some milliseconds to react. So if you want to make sure that you land your R, and want to make sure that the enemy has no chance to get away or whatever, then you press your R first, and then you flash into range. So that's how you do it properly, okay? As you guys saw, I'm doing most of this on unlocked screen. This is the big tip for you, because I know a lot of you guys use lock screen. So doing combos with your Flash when you're on locked screen is basically a nightmare. Because, okay, let's just, look, I want to Flash R this guy, right? Let's say, I know I did it, you want to be able to, pick specific targets while being on the move, okay? So I want to ult this guy and Flash, So if I'm on lock screen, I can just, flash R, just click on specific people who I want. But if I'm if I'm on like locked screen, then I'm basically fighting against the screen here to click on this guy. Because Darius, because while Darius moves, the camera moves with him. So if I flash, then the position of my target shifts from here to here, right? It changes on my screen. So you not just have to aim on the guy, but you have to kind of fight against where your screen is moving. So a big tip, in addition to, playing on quick cast everything without the indicator, and to, doing and to getting high attack speed, all that, a big tip is to play on unlocked screen. Now, I do have my X key bound to center. Some people have space. So the ideal setup is to play with unlocked screen, but have a center key that you can press easily, okay? So that's how most decent players have their setups. And it's a setup that I recommend to you too, if you want to get some of these combos down properly, okay? Next, you can also flash in the middle of R. So I'm going to try here, look. Because of how R works in that, if we point it at someone, it doesn't matter how far away they get, it doesn't matter if they're flash away, as long as they're in our vision, our ult will still land, okay? And this also applies to us. So if we start R, it doesn't matter how far away we get, our R will still land, okay? So this combo or this technique is quite useful for when you're fighting someone, and your ultimate doesn't have the damage to kill someone, but the bleed is definitely going to kill them. So you do R and flash out and walk away so that you land that 5th stack or that last attack and you dodge their damage so that they just bleed to death, okay? You can also do the same thing with W, okay? So we're going to start a W all attack and then flash out in the middle of it. As you see, that's probably one of the most difficult techniques you can do here because you have to just be real quick with it. And if you mess it up, you can flash into the guy. So you have to just target, W, target, flash away like that. It's probably the most tricky thing to do consistently, but it's quite a useful technique when you're fighting against like a Trinity or a Fury or something, because you want to just get that last hidden and flash out. Okay, those are basically all of the techniques, okay? Now, some of these techniques are more useful than others. The first 3 or so are way more useful than the ones that I showed later, where it's like flashing in the middle of R. But we're going to use all of these combos, or we're going to use a bunch of these techniques and put it into our combos in our combo section, which is now. So, the basic quick trade combo is putting together the auto W and the WQ techniques, okay? So, this is the basic quick trade, auto WQ, okay? Now, I'm going to get Strikebreaker because we are in our combo section. Boom. Okay. Auto WQ. Okay. So that's the basic sort of quick trade combo. And if you use the animation cancel, because normally to do this combo, you would do something like this. Okay. But if you use the auto W correctly and the WQ cancel correctly, you can do it lightning fast. And basically get 3 stacks in 1 second only, which is kind of crazy. So yeah, that's the quick combo for quick trades, and you can kind of gauge whether you want to go for an all-in or whether you want to back off based on, the in-game things, okay? So if that combo, if you hit all of it and, dodge something or whatever, if it looks like you can go for a kill, you can go for a kill after that combo with your auto attacks and whatever, but this is just a quick combo trade, okay? Now, this is I'm gonna show you the basic all-in combo. That's like really, really basic, really just clean, simple, and it just does the job. And it's nothing like complicated. So it's E, auto, WQ, auto, R. It's really simple. It gets the job done, and obviously you don't have to ult there at the end. You can just keep attacking them until they get into kill range. But that's the basic idea of the combo, okay? Do your RWQ and then just fight them until you can kill them with your R, okay? So that's the most basic combo that works when the kill's kind of secured. But if you want to get a bit better at fighting people and get kills that you wouldn't get before, they have to get, you got to learn some of the more complex combos that I'm going to really get into, okay? A big tip that I can give to beginner Darius players is to never waste your E, okay? So if I'm melee range against this guy, and I want to kill him, then basically there's no point in me pulling him because he's already in my auto attack range. So it's better to just start the combo with your auto attacks and your W, and then use your E later down the line to prolong the combo, okay? So this is the melee all-in combo, where we start with auto, W, Q, auto, E, auto, R, auto, okay? Now, that was a bit complicated, so I'm gonna break it down. Okay, so auto, W, Q, our basic quick trade, and if it looks like we can fight them, we can go for another auto, and you know how we did that auto E auto thing, right? That thing. So we're going to do that after that. And then after that last auto, we're going to ult, and then one more auto attack. One big thing you're going to notice with a lot of these combos is that I want to make sure that there's an auto attack between like every single ability and before every single ability and after every single ability, okay? So you want to make sure that you sandwich your abilities with auto attacks, because that's like the fastest way you're going to get stacks on people, right? Instead of just right? We're gonna input auto attacks into every single place we can input auto attacks and make the combo like really fast and just kill people before they understand that you can kill them. So that's like the basic melee all-in combo, where you start off in melee range and you just use everything to its maximum and just kill them. But sometimes you have to start fights with your E, a lot of the times in lane and in team fights. So this is like the all-in combo that you start with E, okay? So one thing that people don't use that much is the slow of E. Once Darius pulls a target, E slows them for 40% for 1 second. This slow can be utilized to basically move into a better position for the rest of our combo, because it's really important to keep positioning in mind when you're playing Darius, you know? You want to do a lot of kiting on Darius, you want to do a lot of, you know, moving to the right spots so that you can actually, you know, follow up on your abilities and get the kill. So you want to use every single slow to its maximum, okay? Especially when we're reaching for a kill and we have to start with our E, because we're one ability down in our combo already to just start the fight, okay? So yeah. So we pull, and we auto, we walk, auto, W, Q, auto, R, auto, okay? So why did I do E, auto, and then walk? Basically, I don't want to put the E slow and the W slow at the same time, because when two slows overlap, basically, like, the stronger slow, like, you know, takes the effect, okay? So if I did them both at the same time, then I would be wasting my E slow. I don't want to do that, because I want to make sure that I like make usage of my move speed advantage the most as possible, okay? And if you have Ghost, you can even like do more movements and stuff. So yeah, we're gonna use everything to its maximum, including our E slow. So E, one auto attack, the guy is slowed, we move, auto, W, Q, auto, R, auto attack in between abilities, all that, okay? So yeah, that's our basic pull into all-in combo. This is really good against champions who don't really have much mobility, or champions who use their mobility, and then we want to just pull them in and just kill them quickly, okay? So yeah, I guess Mordekaiser's against sets, I guess, if you land your Q, if he already uses E thing, this combo is gonna do wonders. Now obviously against Set you gotta do way more kiting, but that's a the matchup thing is for another video. Specifically my matchup tier list. I'm gonna put a card to it. Check that out if you want to see the information on how to beat every single matchup in the game. Okay, so that is basically it for our 1v1 combos. And obviously the thing with Darius is that combo knowledge isn't the most necessary thing, as long as you get the fundamentals down. If you know to use every ability to its optimum thing, if you know all WQ, if you know how to put all attacks between like abilities, you can basically just make up your own combos as you go along. Darius more so needs like proper execution more so than just using combos, you know. So yeah, you need to know when to use what precisely to get the best results, okay? But anyway, so I'm gonna talk about a bunch of things you should do in team fights to get the most, like, you know, reward, I guess, and the reward being dead enemies. Okay, so when you have 5 stack in a team fight, one of the biggest things you can do is Q flash and get your stacks onto like the entire enemy team. Okay, let's just get one more dummy in here just to populate the area. So we're fighting this guy. We have 5 stacks, and then one of the big things you can do is just Q and then flash here. And then everybody's slowed, everybody's like, you know, 5 stacks, and everybody has low HP now because we did a bunch of damage. And then we can just, you know, hit the guys you want to kill and kill everyone. But flash Q with 5 stacks is a big technique in team fights, and doing it properly can get you a lot of sweet kills, and it's one of the strongest ways you can use your flash. Okay, now you can also, like, you know, let's say the enemy team is all about this one carry and you have to kill them, right? I have to kill this guy. So let's say we kill this dude. We can do flash auto WR, right? Now, a lot of the times, it's not going to be enough to one-shot them, but it is going to be enough to kill them with an auto attack after the ult or something, right? But, you know, that combo is really good if you want to just assassinate someone. And you can also do this with flash mid-R. So what I mean by this is, you know, we can flash mid-R to move towards someone. And, you know, do the one-shot combo there. So R in the middle of, you know, flash in the middle of R, and then flash towards the guy RWR. Okay? Now, doing flash in the middle of R, is just speeding the process up of getting to this guy. Because we can just one-shot this guy, and then flash, and then one-shot them. But instead of just, you know, waiting for the ult to finish, we can flash instantly. And the faster you are, the less the enemy has the time to react, and the more kills you are going to get. Now, here is the combo from the beginning of the video. Now, I don't know if, you know, I've talked about this in the previous combo video before, but I call this the Roku combo because I don't really see many people doing it, and I don't really see people talking about it either, or, you know, showing it off in combo videos. So yeah, I'm claiming this combo as my property. Anyway, just kidding. But yeah, the basic idea is this. You guys remember the W flash out combo thing that we did? And we're going to combine that with WQ to basically get stacks onto everyone using our Q, okay? So what's basically happening here is our W gets the 5 stacks, and then our Q gives it to everyone. Kind of like that, okay? Now, I'll do it in a way where, like, you know, we're using the full range of flash. RO, W, Q, and then we get our Q on everyone. So it's basically like getting the flash Q redirect, but instead of waiting for that 5th stack, we just W and then flash shot and just get it onto everyone very fast. And if you can pull this off in a team fight, you're going to get a ton of kills, because this technique is so fast that a lot of people won't have time to react. And with, like, the current Strikebreaker, you can basically do it, like, in the middle of Q, like old Strikebreaker. And the aerial effect of it is basically the same as Q. So we can add the Strikebreaker into the combo too. Okay, I messed it up. And just basically go on a rampage and kill everything. So yeah, that is basically the Roku combo. And if you have clips of you doing this successfully, join my Discord and put, like, the video of it in my clip section and then ping me. I'll take a look and, you know, rate it if you want. Anyway, that is pretty much it for this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because I try to put a lot of work into these videos to make sure they're useful. But yeah, I thought it was very important to make sure your guys' combos are as good as they can be, because in this patch, being good at Darius mechanically is more important than ever, because they basically just kneecapped our, you know, team fight, and, you know, they basically just took out Strikebreaker Dash, which really just ruined our gameplay. So get good mechanics, and we do that with training with this video. Anyway, I won't take more of your time. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.